I'm Chris Rostron, Head of Rugby League Cares. During these unprecedented times, we've been working closely with the RFL, the Rugby League World Cup and Super League to bring you the Rugby League United campaign. The campaign was designed to help the public in Rugby League to improve their general well-being and mental fitness during the lockdown. The campaign is funded by the mental health charity Mind, and we're asking all those that have had access to the support to provide us feedback through a completely anonymous survey online. The survey will only take you 2 minutes and it will provide us with the vital information we need to be able to continue to bring you these services absolutely free of charge. So, hopefully, you'll take part in the survey, which can be found via a link on the website below. So, to you, thanks for taking part in the campaign. We hope it's been of benefit to you all. But more importantly, thanks for supporting Rugby League and Rugby League Cares during these unprecedented times. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to the Mindfulness for Wellbeing fixture of the Rugby League Cares Offload programme. My name is Russell Treasure, and I'll be guiding you through this 20-minute video, and we're going to talk about how mindfulness can help us to deal with life's challenges, and using mindfulness to help us sleep, have better relationships, and even improve our health. We talk about mental fitness in Offload, and it's very important that when we wake up in the morning, we don't have feelings of dread and we feel anxious all the time. It's okay to feel anxious sometimes, and it's okay to feel sad or angry or afraid. But mindfulness helps us to recognize when that is starting to take over our lives. And over the next few slides, I'd like you to take you through the book, which I recommend very highly, which is the Chimp Paradox by Professor Steve Peters. First, a little bit about me though. I'm a mindfulness coach based in the northwest of England, and I've been working with various rugby league clubs and their foundations over the past few years to help players, fans, staff and volunteers to lead a more mindful life. My mission really is just to help as many people as possible, and hopefully this session will help you. So we have several well-being strategies that are open to us. We can have coaching. We coach in one-to-ones or in groups, and we support leaders to help them reach their full potential. We can also set goals which help us towards maybe our professional or our personal lives. And we can also remove blockages which our mind has created, which stops us from being as creative as possible. First of all, then, let's talk a little bit about the brain, and the chimp brain in particular. You can see on this slide that we have a picture of a computer. We also have the chimp and the human. Now, the computer is the fastest part of the brain, and we'll come on to that a little bit later. We also have a chimp. Now, the chimp resides in an area called the amygdala of the brain, and it's one of the oldest parts of the brain. That was put there to help us run away from wild animals and predators, and also to fight off other troops of chimps. And we're going back millions of years since we've had this part of the brain. The frontal part, which is all around here, the prefrontal cortex, is there to help us think. It knows right from wrong, and it makes logical, calm, rational decisions. So let's go on to the Chimp Paradox. This is a fantastic book. It's a global bestseller by Professor Steve Peters, who's worked with many of the Olympic athletes. And he tells us that in the computer, we have learned behaviors such as tying a shoelace, for example. If we need to tie a shoelace, we don't refer to the chimp or the human part of the brain. It's in there already. We simply bend down and tie the lace. That's the fastest. The next fastest is the chimp, the amygdala. This is where the fight or flight system resides. It's about 4 times faster than the human part of the brain. And it comes into play whenever it senses a threat. So this is going back to those days when you could hear, smell or see a predator. It would tighten up the muscles, get them ready for action, and make us run away or fight. At the moment though, these days we have the same part of the brain, the amygdala. It's still there. We can't get rid of it and we can't stop it working. Well, we need it. Sometimes we need to be able to run out of the way of a speeding car, for example, or run away from a crowd of people. It's there, and we have to learn how to communicate with it and live with it. We'll be talking a little bit more about that and its interaction with the human part of the brain, which is calm. It makes logical decisions and it knows right from wrong. So if we can, we'd like to refer more to the human part of the brain when making decisions. And that can help us in social situations. It can help us have better relationships. So how do we get the human to take over the chimp? The chimp's making, don't forget, it's an emotional machine, and it's making these rapid decisions based on survival. It just wants to survive so it can pass its genes down the line. And if we do something like forget to pick something up from the shop, we call ourselves an idiot. Or if we try and put the kettle in the fridge, we think we've got Alzheimer's coming on. If we're running late in a car, for example, the chimp sort of has this mindset that if we're running late, it might mean that we're going to lose our income, and therefore we can't buy food or pay our rent, so we're going to die. And the chimp takes a lot of situations, jumps in before the human, and makes a decision that if we don't take an action, we may well perish. So the human brain is sat in the background. It's not allowed to get in there. And this has been measured on EEG machines. The blood goes to the back of the head where the chimp resides, and the human doesn't get a look in. And we can use mindfulness to help us in this. So if we can give the chimp a small pause, if we can say to it, everything's fine, we don't have to run away or fight. We can just relax and allow the human brain to take over again and make a nice, calm, logical decision. So using mindfulness to do this might mean that we start noticing when the chimp is getting agitated. And we always notice emotions through the body, not the mind. So we might feel our shoulders coming up. We might feel our fist clench, even our jaw. My particular sign that I'm getting agitated, or my chimp is that my jaw tends to clench together and I grit my teeth. This, of course, causes tension up in the temples and all over the face. So when we notice that the muscles are tensing, we might ask ourselves a question. Why? Why am I tensing? What have I just thought about which is making me tense up? And it may be that you've just had an argument, or you may be thinking about the past or the future. You may be thinking about something that went wrong for you, or even into the future and creating a potential future where there's a disaster. So we catastrophize things. We wish that we'd done something differently in the past when it's gone and we can't change it. But the chimp doesn't work that way. It wants to get into action and put it right, even though it's in the past. It still wants to take an action. So we tend to tense up when we're thinking about past mistakes, when somebody did something or said something horrible to us. When we go into the future and think, oh, am I going to have a job or enough money? The chimp jumps in straight away and makes us tense. So over the next few minutes, we're going to learn how to recognize the body tensing up, and then learn how to untense it, to relax all the muscle groups. In that way, we can give ourselves a break, a pause from worrying about the past and the future. And we might say to the chimp, it's okay, you can go back to sleep. I've got this. It's a little bit like rebooting a computer. An old computer that has gone really slow, you turn it off and turn it back on again. So we're not trying to stop the mind thinking. We are just trying to get it to stop thinking about the past and the future, about the present moment. What's happening now? And we're tricking the mind into thinking about the now. So it's always now. It's never not now. Life isn't a series of nows. It's always now. So now it's now, and now it's now. So let's figure out how to notice that we're getting an emotional outcome by noticing the body tensing up. I'm just going to go through this very quickly, but there's a great video on my website, russelltreasure.co.uk, which allows you to take your time doing this. I'm going to go through it fairly quickly, but it'll give you an idea. And then when you go off and practice, you can watch videos. So first of all, let's get nice and comfortable. You might be sat down in a chair or laid down on your bed. And we're going to tense each set of muscles in turn. And we're going to tense them as we breathe in. And then as we breathe out, we're going to relax them again. So let's start at the feet. Make sure you've got your eyes closed. You're feeling nice and comfortable, not slumped down. You've got your feet flat on the floor, legs uncrossed, and your hands resting nicely on your lap. So on each in-breath, tense your feet, and then untense them as you breathe out. Let's do the calves next. Breathe in and tense your calves. Breathe out and relax them. Don't try to follow my speed. Do this in your own time. Now the quads, the thigh muscles. As we breathe in, we tense the quads. And as we breathe out, we relax them. Next, the glutes, the biggest muscle in the body. As we tense the glutes, we might feel ourselves raising up in the chair a little bit or being propped up in the bed. And as we relax, we sink back into the chair, sink into the bed. Feel those big muscles just nice, flattening out nicely. Now notice the stomach. As we breathe in, it expands. And as we breathe out, it relaxes. You'll be able to tell from the movement of your clothing over your skin. And as we breathe in, the stomach and even the chest and the shoulders slightly rise. And as we breathe out, they fall again. Now let's move on to the hands and arms. On your next in-breath, clench your fists and put tension all the way up your arms. And as you breathe out, relax them again and allow your hands to rest lightly on your lap. Now let's try the head. First of all, starting at the jaw. This is one that a lot of people find. You may be trying to fall asleep at night. You're clamping your jaw. So make sure that your lips are touching, but your teeth are apart. You can touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth to help you with that. Now find all those nice little muscles in your face, smiling and frowning muscles, and relax them all. End up with a neutral face, so you're neither smiling nor frowning. Include around the cheekbones and the eyes. Check out your brows and your forehead, even your scalp. And you can tell when you relax your scalp that the sides of your head drop slightly. So now, still with our eyes closed, we're noticing our breathing. We're breathing in and out nice and slowly. And let's just go back up from our feet. Don't re-tense them, but if you find any tension has crept in, just let it go. As you breathe in, feel the tension, and as you breathe out, let it go. And work your way all the way up through your feet, your calves, your quads and your glutes, your hands and arms, and your shoulders. When you breathe out, make sure your shoulders drop all the way down. Release all the tension you're holding in your face. And lastly, the scalp. So now we've got that all nice and relaxed. The physical side of fight or flight is now relaxed. That's now starting to affect the mental side. What I'd like you to do is a little exercise where we distract the mind. We trick it into noticing what's happening as you breathe. 3 things happen when you breathe. The first thing to notice is you breathe in and out and you make a sound. Each in-breath and each out-breath makes a sound. Focus on that for a couple of breaths for me. Now notice when you breathe in, it feels cool on the nostrils. And as you breathe out, it feels warmer. And the next thing to notice is when you breathe in, your stomach rises. And when you breathe out, it falls. So now try putting all 3 of those things together. With each in-breath, notice the sound, the cool temperature, and the rising of the stomach. And with each out breath, notice the sound, the warmer temperature on the nostrils, and the stomach falling back. Now just try that for a few breaths. If thoughts try to creep in, if you get distracted by a sound, bring your mind back to the sound of your breathing. So we're learning now with practice to turn the mind around from thinking about the past and the future and what's going on in your life to thinking about what's going on now. So if your mind goes off, it gets distracted, bring it back to the sound of your breathing. And then notice the temperature, cool in, warm out, and the movement, stomach rising and falling. Now, I mentioned earlier that mindfulness can really help with sleep. And I'd like to just add on a little exercise now that you can do. If you go to bed tonight, lie flat on your back, go through the physical relaxation first, then listen to the breathing. Start counting back in your mind. Start at 200. Count back slowly like this. 199, 198, 197, 196, 195, 194, 193, and keep counting down until you forget what number you're at. If you do forget and wake up again, just start again at the beginning. The chances are you probably won't get down to 0. Okay, now wiggle your fingers and toes and gently open your eyes when you're ready. Now hopefully your heart rate's lower, your blood pressure's dropped a bit, and your breathing has slowed down. You may feel a little bit calmer, or you may even have felt as if you could have fallen asleep, which is fantastic. Try that tonight. Try and see if you can fall asleep using that technique. And you may notice that your mind has stopped thinking about the past and the future. It's just literally focusing on what is going on right now. And there are other mindfulness exercises you can do, and maybe we'll talk about that a different day. There's lots of stuff out there on the internet about mindfulness, and taking something like a mindfulness-based stress reduction course can be a massive help with your mental fitness. And if you want to get in touch with me about something like that, please feel free. You can get me through the Offload website. Okay, so that's a short mindfulness session. It's just about mindfulness of the breath, being mindful of what's happening now. And hopefully it's given you a little bit of peace of mind, which is ultimately what we all want, especially if we're going through challenging times. Just a little picture there of Mr. Bolt. It is important to set goals, but what you need to do is set goals that are realistic. Make sure that what you desire is what makes you happy and joyful. Do what you really enjoy doing in life. I've found that by doing that and not focusing on other things such as money, promotion, or getting credit from people, if you do what is your joy, then you will find that the other things fall into place. Now, Offload is not a 24/7 service. So what we've done here is we've put some contact details for you. If you want to get help outside of listening to this video, or hopefully one day being back at the rugby grounds when we start meeting on a Tuesday evening again, we've got some people out there that are willing to help 24/7. Samaritans is a great one. The Campaign Against Living Miserably, the number's on there, and the Hub of Hope, we've got the website on there. So, but please get in touch with us and we'll help you if we can. But in times when you can't get hold of us, those are great people to check on. And lastly, we'll just leave you with a great quote: enjoy the game, love the cause. Now, my contact details are down there. Please feel free to have a look at my website. I've got loads of great videos on there, short ones, 5 minutes, longer ones, half an hour, to help you relax, maybe fall asleep, but mainly to give you some peace of mind. Please feel free to email me, drop me a text, or contact me on social media. All my social media is at Russell Treasure. It's been great talking to you. I hope it's been of benefit, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.